Tonight in CVM News at 7, in custody, police locate mother suspected of drowning 2-month-old baby. Avoid all travel to the Middle East. Government issues warning to Jamaicans amid epic fury turmoil. Marching for peace. Children in St. Anne stage peace walk against violence in Jamaica. In the business report, the Pan Jamaica Group records $8.1 billion profit for 2025. And we'll also have the latest on what's happening in sports.
At 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's human development.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of.
Seize the next IPO opportunity seamlessly with the Sagicor e-Invest.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, March 4, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you for joining us. We begin with a bit of breaking news. Police are at the scene of a gruesome attack on the compound of Ocherius High School in St. Anne. CVM News understands a male student of the institution was attacked by another student who used an implement to hit him in the head. Well, police investigators are currently on the scene, and our correspondent there, Kirk Hall, is also on the scene. We join him now. Kirk, what can you tell us?
Well, earlier on this afternoon, I was alerted by a friend of mine that there was an incident at the Ocherius High School, so I gathered my equipment and came here. When we came here, we had a bit of problem going in, as that is normal. What we learned, though, when I get here, was there was a incident between two male students where they had some altercation, and then as to what happened, I don't know. But I was told while being here that one used a chair to hit the other in the head. He was rushed to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, and they were trying to save him, but apparently just minutes ago we have learned that he has died. Right now we're seeing a crime personnel and personnel from the Ocherius CIB. They're all there at the school right now. As to what exactly transpired or may have led to this incident, it's still unclear.
That's awful news, Kirk. Can you say if the identity of the deceased is any sooner released? Have you heard from the police in that regard?
At this point in time, I have not gotten any confirmation as to the suspect or the deceased. I was also told that the suspect jumped a wall and made good his escape as well.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add before you go, Kirk?
Well, just yesterday, there was this peace march here in St. Anne, and for this to have happened today, we're in the school vicinity, on the school compound. Someone has lost their life. It's just a sad, sad situation here in St. Anne.
All right, thank you so much. Our St. Anne correspondent Kirk Hall at the Ocherius High School. We now turn to a CVM News follow-up. The mother suspected of drowning her 2-month-old son in Top Hill, Manchester, Tuesday is now receiving medical treatment at a hospital under police watch. The pain and loss is proving almost impossible, however, to bear for young Mattheo's grandfather, whose first sight of the infant was when he appeared at the family's house to view the body. We remind some details may be triggering, so viewer discretion is advised. The woman accused of killing her own child owing to what locals say was her state of mental health is now in police custody.
Our further investigation revealed that the mother of the child is an outpatient at the mental health clinic at the Percy Junior Hospital. She was picked up yesterday by members of the Manchester Mental Health Department and transported to the Percy Junior Hospital, where she is now currently restrained and is undergoing medical treatment. Further investigation continues in this matter.
On Tuesday, jaws dropped as a Manchester community came to terms with the harrowing news of the drowning of a 2-month-old infant, allegedly by his 20-year-old mother. At the time, there was no news as to her whereabouts, only that shock and grief ripped Top Hill, many pondering her mental state and pondering likely triggers. CVM News spoke to the child's paternal grandfather, Lion, as many know him, who was without his usual roar.
Funny about me never see him. And when me hear said the girl join him in the pond, boy, the whole community grieve, man, because at first this never happened. First, this never happened in our district. So boy, we there, I don't know my son I take it. Because the police them came down and see up a man, they know, write up some paper and something. So but we only hope we will work out the best way. The girl, him pack up in things and gone. And say, call him and say, he kill the baby and he gone.
He admits it's a hard pill to swallow, while explaining he was never supportive of the relationship given the woman's mental state.
She was a mental person. He upstairs, not right at all. Him head gas it blow. Yeah, man. So, but sometimes them come give her injection or something and he cool down for your time. But look like he run out, so he just don't want to do and feel like in the burning house already, and boy, me I tell my son, say, boy, better make him go on, For a bright face boy like you have to look somebody else. You can't have a mad somebody in your place. You destroy what you have.
He says love prevailed, however, as his son disregarded his advice. He says the mother called Mattheos' father and broke the news.
We never see her act no way different from the doctor them inject her, But man, I don't know what happened. Look like he want go up on the street again, so and the baby I go hold her up, so he just do it with the baby.
She was on the street before?
Yeah, man, him there about, man, sometimes in the Monday, sometimes in the Spal, in the Christina. Sometimes, see him for weeks. Sometimes when in taxi, man, you see her on the road, they not carry her because she stinks, beard or something, So, say, him head no right. So,
and you say the whole community is taking it very hard.
I will say, man, the amount of people is here, man.
Neighbors told CVM News Tuesday they were angry and hurting. Forbes says nobody could have predicted it. Following Tuesday's tragic incident in Manchester where 10-week-old Matthew Forbes was drowned in a bucket of water, allegedly by his 20-year-old mother, concerns are again raised about postpartum depression. Experts say it's far more common and more serious than many people realize. Akeem Oret joins us in studio to tell us a little more. But Akeem, what exactly can you tell us about postpartum depression?
Well, Nika, postpartum depression affects millions of women and men worldwide. Globally, nearly 1 in 5 new mothers will experience postpartum depression, while studies suggest the numbers may be even higher in Jamaica and parts of the Caribbean. Now, unlike the baby blues, postpartum depression can last for months and, if left untreated, can affect both mother and child. Postpartum depression, PPD, is a serious mental health condition that can affect a mother after childbirth, often within the first few weeks, but can begin anytime in the first year after delivery. According to the National Depression Hotline, 17 to 20% of women globally experiences PPD. But for Jamaica, rates are as high as 1 in 3 new mothers. Sonia Winter is a licensed clinical psychologist.
Number one, the stress factor that some women in some communities and some environments have to face, number one, and number two, the support that is available to these women. So in countries like Jamaica and other developing countries, chronic stress is much higher than in more developed countries, you know, so where there is poverty, where there's exposure to violence, either in the home or in the community, when there is unstable housing or food insecurity. Those are factors that can make the prevalence of postpartum depression increase, you know.
Baby blues is what many women are being told what they are experiencing, and as a result, nearly half of postpartum depression cases worldwide go undiagnosed. The psychologist warns families and healthcare providers must distinguish between temporary mood changes and the serious mental health condition.
Baby blues is common for many, many mothers, and it's where their hormones are sort of out of whack after the baby is born. But it usually lasts just about 2 weeks or so, you know. Postpartum depression, number one, lasts for longer than that. And also you will notice that rather than the depression getting better, as in baby blues, is getting more and more intense, you know. So over longer than 2 weeks, where it's starting to also affect the mother's ability to cope. So she's showing signs of depression such as loss of interest, inability to bond with her baby, having thoughts. The main one too is thoughts about harming herself or harming the baby.
Regional studies by the Journal of Women's Health indicate that postpartum depression rates in parts of the Caribbean and other low and middle income countries can reach up to 50%, often linked to financial stress and limited support. If left untreated, PPD can affect both the baby and the mother.
You will see for some women, it affects their ability to even care for themselves. You know, self-care will deteriorate, their relationships start to deteriorate. And for many women too, they might start to abuse different substances to help them to cope. And as I said earlier, the real trigger that you're looking out for sometimes where you know they need professional help immediately is where they're starting to have thoughts about harming themselves or their baby. For the baby now, postpartum depression really disrupts the mother's ability to bond with baby and to respond to the baby's needs.
Beyond the data, many women still suffer in silence. Miss Winter notes, in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean, cultural expectations often paint motherhood as a purely joyful experience. But for mothers suffering in silence,
you're not unworthy, you're not worthless, right? This is a common experience that women have and it can be treated.
While maternal mental health helpline is missing, mothers who suffer from PPD can access the mental health and suicide prevention helpline at 888-639-5433. The You Matter Youth chat line at 876-838-4897 and the Child Protection and Family Services Agency at 876-878-2882. Reporting for CVM News, I'm Akeem Art.
There's more to come after the break.
The last thing on their mind until it becomes the only thing on their mind. Critical illness has many faces. 1 in 4 people will be affected. Protect what matters with critical illness insurance from Sagicor Life.
You see me? Me love my food and my ketchup run the flavor in so many ways. Miss Thomas, I want to turn up your food, sir.
My secret ingredients, Charles tomato ketchup, run the...
Charles ketchup, run the flavor. Richer, thicker, and more affordable. Chicken box, what run the flavor?
Charles tomato ketchup.
Charles tomato ketchup, run the flavor. Richer, thicker, and more affordable.
Guess what me do? What you do? Me go check me prostate.
No, seriously?
Me nah do that. Remember say that pops drop out from me now. Me have to take it serious. You can just do the blood test, you know. But better safe than sorry. So me do the full package. Plus the NHF card help pay for the PSA test. Biggs, you're 40, you know. The earlier, the better. Cause me know you still want fire on all cylinder.
NHF is here for health. NHF is here for you.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jody Ann Quarry.
Brought to you by Horizon, a new loan product from Access Financial Services.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Well, avoid all travel to the Middle East. That word from the Jamaican government this evening as Operation Epic Fury, the war with US, Israel and Iran, intensifies. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith spoke at a post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday. Crystal Williams was monitoring and has more. Crystal?
Well, Nika, just today, the U.S. sunk an Iranian warship, killing 87, wounding dozens of others. With more than 800 confirmed deaths so far, war is rapidly escalating. Kamina Johnson-Smith says the government continues to monitor the conflict with concern. There have been 87 confirmed deaths from this latest attack on Wednesday by a U.S. submarine on an Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka. The warship's sinking comes as the United States and Israel conduct airstrikes on Iran for a fifth day after killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and nearly 800 other people, including dozens of schoolgirls. Tehran has responded with drone and missile attacks on Israel and US-linked assets in Gulf countries, causing multiple deaths. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith says the conflict is affecting commercial flights to and from the region.
The public is reminded of the guidance offered in our most recent advisory to avoid all travel to the region. Nationals already in the Middle East are encouraged to exercise extreme caution and to follow instructions from official sources. It is noted that commercial air services across parts of the region have been disrupted, with cancellations and periodic airspace restrictions affecting several routes. However, some commercial flights continue to operate from certain locations, and Jamaican nationals who wish to depart should remain vigilant, should monitor these flights, and should consider available options once it is safe to do so.
She also provided an update on the number of Jamaicans currently trapped in Middle Eastern countries impacted by the ongoing US-Israel-Iran war.
I want to advise of the numbers of persons who have registered as well. In the UAE, we have 85 Jamaicans who have registered, who have made themselves known. Kuwait, 44. Qatar, 40. Bahrain, 6. Saudi Arabia, 1. Oman, 1. And Israel, 1.
Town Hall will be hosted by the Jamaican High Commissioner to India, Jason Hall, to provide the public with updates on the status of Jamaicans in affected countries. Minister Johnson-Smith notes that Jamaicans in war-torn regions should follow the instructions of local authorities to ensure their safety. She also urges the public to monitor official, reputable sources.
Unverified reports circulating online may contribute to confusion and anxiety, and individuals are therefore encouraged to also exercise caution before sharing or acting on unverified information.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
A new all-island electricity license framework is set to take effect next year after the current JPS license expires in July 2027. According to Energy Minister Darrell Vaz, an extension of the existing license was requested in November 2025 due to the effects of Hurricane Melissa. He says the principal features of the proposed license of the modernized framework was drafted and presented to the Cabinet and will be confirmed by April 2026. The minister notes that the process includes new licensing arrangements with better terms for the country.
The process also provides structured pathways depending on the outcome of negotiation, including new licensing arrangements for transmission, distribution, and generation, and transition support to government, valuation mechanisms where required, and if necessary, competitive engagement of alternative operators. What does that mean? We're not putting all our eggs in one basket. If the negotiations with JPS do not prove fruitful, we have alternatives that we can go to make sure that come 2027, a new license is in place for whoever it is.
Calls for justice grew louder on Tuesday as scores of Jamaicans gathered at Emancipation Park, peacefully protesting ahead of the sentencing of Jolyon Silvera in the death of his wife, Melissa. Our reporter Kevin Black was on location and files this report.
All in black at Emancipation Park in New Kingston on Tuesday to demand justice for Melissa Silvera, the woman whose death sparked public outcry, further intensified by the subsequent plea to the lesser charge of manslaughter by her husband, politician Jolyon Silvera. Protesters carried signs criticizing the plea and demanding accountability, saying provocation should not justify taking a life.
Well, as a concerned Jamaican citizen, I heard about the protests and I decided that it's time I came out and let my voice be heard because it's an important issue that faces a lot of the women and the children in the society. The stigma is there against women and children, so I decided to come out and support end the violence against women and children, and let's break that, that norm that has been plaguing Jamaica for many years.
Violence, domestic violence that continues to plague our society. It has been ongoing, and I just think, we have to send a clear message that enough is enough.
This is not right. Don't care what you said in your mouth, it's not the same as a gun.
They told the CVM News the gathering was not only about one case but also raising a stronger national voice against violence toward women. Family members, schoolmates and friends say the death of Melissa has left them depressed. Protesters demanded justice for Silvera while calling for stronger action and accountability.
She was a very good person, very kind person, loved her husband, enjoyed our children to the ultimate. I was so shocked, traumatized.
For Melissa Silvera, which is my best friend, and it's because of as everybody knows, that her husband killed her, and so we're here protesting that provocation is no justification.
Her death rocked us because we haven't had a tragic death in our year group, under these circumstances, and every time you hear the story and it evolves, we feel shock.
There is no way that we can go from chemistry class and the canteen and chatting and sitting on the ground in our immaculate uniforms and then moving to one of us is horrifically killed and their children. Where's the justice?
They told the CVM News the gathering was not only about one case but also raising a stronger national voice against violence toward women. Family members, schoolmates and friends say the death of Melissa has left them depressed. Protesters demanded justice for Silvera while calling for stronger action and accountability.
Melissa's death was not for nothing. We intend to give her a voice, the voice she no longer has. And we intend to say to every woman who is out there struggling quietly and silently, because let's be real, Jamaica has a very strong victim blaming and shaming tradition. We want to abolish those traditions.
For the legislation to be changed, for provocation to be wiped off of the books of Jamaica, where it's not accepted as an excuse or a reason for somebody killing another person.
Justice should be harsh and should be swift.
Sentencing for her husband, Julian Silvera, is set for this Friday. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the proceedings will be live-streamed. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Cross-examination of the prosecution's 14th witness grew tense on Wednesday as the defense questioned a prosecution witness over her handling of a statement taken from Jermaine Blake following a 2018 operation in the Crossroads area. The court heard that no contemporaneous notes or interview logs were made during the interview, despite requirements outlined in the Police Code of Conduct. Carla Ramdeen was in court and files this report.
The cross-examination of the prosecution's witness continued today in the Clansman gang trial in the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston. The witness, who was a member of CTOC, assigned to the Stolen Vehicle Investigations Unit in 2018. The defense sought to call into question the manner in which she obtained a statement from the now deceased Jermaine Blake, one of the suspects in the 2018 Crossroads incident. The defense argued that her actions were not in keeping with the police per se, which outlines the Police Code of Conduct. It was put to the witness that the per se mandates the use of notes and an interview log to ensure the validity and accuracy of interactions between the police and interviewee. The witness agreed that those requirements exist. However, she testified that no notes were taken while Mr. Blake's statement was being recorded, nor was an interview log completed. The witness also told the court that neither a lawyer nor a justice of the peace was present when Blake gave his statement. She added that only Mr. Blake and herself could confirm or speak to what transpired during the taking of the statement. The defense then asked the witness whether she was aware that Blake had been shot and killed by the police. She responded that she was not aware. Defense counsel John Mark Reed further asked whether she could, quote, raise people from the dead, prompting the presiding judge to intervene, stating that the question did not require an answer. The defense suggested that the witness's conduct did not reflect best practice of the JCF. The witness disagreed. Mr. Reed continued, given that no interview log, notes, or interview plan was prepared, the court has no record to test whether Mr. Blake made any demands or requested any incentives during the interview. The witness disagreed with that suggestion. When asked whether the court should simply take her word for it, the witness agreed. Later, the defense put it to the witness that CTOC unit has a practice of infringing on citizens' rights. She responded that at no time she could agree with that assertion. The defense further suggested that Mr. Blake's constitutional rights were infringed on October 2, 2018, when his statement was taken. The witness disagreed. The men charged for this incident is the accused Tesha Miller, alleged leader of the Clansman gang, and Michael Wildman. Cross-examination of the witness is set to continue on Tuesday to facilitate the recovery of the CTOC station diary and the Halfway Tree police station diary. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues right after the break.
Critical illness has many faces. 1 in 4 people will be affected. Protect what matters with critical illness insurance from Sagicor Life.
The KFC value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous blue combo for just $640.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Thanks for staying with us. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today about the varied forms resilience may take, as demonstrated by the Pan Jamaica Group, whose strength to push through challenging times locally and globally was fortified through diversification.
Jeffrey Hull, CEO and Vice Chairman, spoke to the effect of foresight and how it's propelled the PJG to consolidated net profits of $8.1 billion for the year ended December 31, 2025, a 33% increase over 2024.
2025 was a year that tested corporate Jamaica. The big challenge that everyone's talking about when they look at the earnings line is Melissa. But in the background, you had massive disruptions to the trading regime, you had geopolitics, you had balance sheet tests with companies facing debt and liquidity issues and interest rates on that component of their liabilities. I would say that Pan Jamaica went into the year with a strong business model, and we designed the business model to deal with shocks like this. It's diversified by business line, it's diversified by geography. We have strong market positioning in the key segments in which we do business, and we have serious experience, leadership at the management team in the organizations in which we do business.
3 of its 4 operating divisions experienced double-digit revenue growth.
We came out with growing revenues. Revenues are up about 14%. That went straight through to the bottom line, with shareholder profits up 38%. We were able to pass that on to shareholders with a 38% increase in our dividend payout as well. But we still retained an outstanding balance sheet. So our cash, our investment securities, our marketable securities are now on the order of $150 million USD. Our asset line is approaching $1 billion US with net assets about $500 million.
The strong balance sheet and growing revenue has reinforced the confidence that the group has placed in its business model and the strategic decision to diversify.
Diversification was central to what we do. So in our 4 business lines, we powered forward with a 75% uplift in shareholder profits in financial services. Our investment in Sagicor, where we have a 30% interest, performed very well. It had strong market power. It delivered in its core business lines. Its management team is firmly in place and getting results.
Driven by increased volumes on its Geest Line shipping service and stronger domestic and transshipment activity at Kingston Wharves, the Global Services Division, which includes port operations and logistics, delivered notable contributions to group performance, with a 25% increase in profit relative to 2024.
Kingston Wharves performed for Jamaica in Melissa, and we're really proud of their work. Obviously, it's very challenging, but they're doing what they have to do. Our Geest business in the shipping line, the freight forwarding operations also performed exceptionally well. So those were 2 big engines.
The Pan Jamaica Group's Property and Infrastructure Division, which includes the Rock Hotel Kingston, saw revenues climb 12% to $4.8 billion, supported by higher occupancies and rate adjustments across its commercial property portfolio and various hospitality assets.
Our property business had a steady year. In the prior year, in 2024, we took a one-off gain on the sale of a non-core asset. And so that didn't repeat in 2025, but the earnings held steady. And it held steady because our occupancies are good, have high-quality tenants, corporate headquarters for financial institutions, for the audit firms, for key food service enterprises, for key corporates. And we're really proud of that, and we're proud that it's delivering for shareholders.
Understandably, the group did suffer reversals in the Specialty Foods Division, PJG's largest revenue contributor, which was impacted by the passage of what is now known to be one of the most powerful hurricanes on record, despite reported revenues of $25.2 billion, up 10% year over year.
So that took a big hit in our banana farms. It took a $300 million hit in Q4 as a result of Melissa. But the team went straight back to work. We replanted. We're going to be back in full production in bananas in June, and we're already back in pineapples in the market. So we're really proud of being able to overcome that very significant setback.
Currently positioned as a market leader in fresh juice production across Northern Europe, the group's European expansion has gone some way to diluting the local impacts of the weather event on the overall performance of the division.
Our juice business in Europe performed very well. That's becoming a very solid platform for the group. It's doing what it's supposed to do. We now have 4 production sites, one in Spain, one in Belgium, one in the Netherlands, and a recently acquired manufacturing site in Denmark. So we're now, as we targeted, a pan-European footprint in fresh juice that's performing for the group. So we're winning because we are diversified by geography, we're diversified by product line, and we have a strong team that's getting results. And I'm really proud to be able to deliver for shareholders.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
It's now time for regional and international news with Marshall Hazley.
We begin with regional news. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is standing by her decision to call for a state of emergency on Tuesday, saying she's not afraid to take tough decisions in defense of law-abiding citizens. TTT Live reports.
She said the council was informed that fresh intelligence pointed to planned attacks as well as a rise in gang-related shootings across the country. Following the previous state of emergency, which ended on January 31st, she noted that there has been an increase in violent criminal activity across the country, mostly by organized criminal gangs. She said this measure is consistent with government's zero-tolerance approach, reminding that she previously warned to implement another SOE if criminal gangs and detainees released from prison cannot behave themselves.
In international news, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. At least 80 people were killed in the strike, which occurred in the Indian Ocean. Sky News has the details.
Or a U.S. submarine sinking an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. You can see those images that have come in now. The U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says that the U.S. submarine they sunk it, an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean with a torpedo.
Meanwhile, Spain's Prime Minister has doubled down on his criticism of the attack on Iran by the U.S. and Israel, warning the conflict risked playing Russian roulette with the lives of millions. Pedro Sanchez was responding after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut trade with Madrid over its position on the conflict. Al Jazeera tells us more.
We should learn from history, and we can't play Russian roulette with the destiny of millions of people. The powers involved in this conflict should immediately stop the hostilities and rely on dialogue and diplomacy. And the rest of us should act in a coherent way, defending the same values that we defend when we talk about Ukraine, Gaza, Venezuela, and Greenland.
And that's it for regional and international news. I'm Marshall.